Then he's going to drag the next creep wave into the large camp, and he's just being ultra efficient with his use of acid spray. And like the panel said, they've even rotated multiple heroes top to enable him to do so while simultaneously slowing down the lone druid as an added bonus. And the last thing I want to mention that makes this hero even like who really tipped it to the point where it's kind of broken is that this change I want to point out in 7.28. Alchemist granted scepter buffs provide the full stat bonuses. It used to be that you just got whatever the ability change was, but now you get an extra approximately 400 health, 300 mana, a little bit of health and mana regen, a little bit of damage. That bit of extra bolster that comes out around the 12-minute mark for any carry makes them incredibly overwhelming in terms of their timings, because now they have twice the items they should have, and they have the full benefit of the Ags. I think we'll be seeing a lot more of this hero, and hopefully you guys understand a bit better why.
We'll be seeing a lot more of this hero. Surely all the reasons Brian just mentioned means it should be banned. We're going to find out if we're going to see it more. It was first phase pick in game 1. Will it see the light of day in game number 2? We're finding out after the break.
Searching for my soul. I think I lost my way. I think I lost my way. But I'll be careful now, like I was careful then. Wish I could turn around and do it over and over again. Oh, 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 oh. I'll never give it up, never. My heart and soul, you took it from my hands. If I can't get it back, then nobody can. Oh, 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 oh. I'll never give it up, never gonna give it up. I'll never give it up, never gonna give it up. Oh, 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 oh. I'll never give it up, never gonna give it up. I'll never give it up, never gonna give it up. Now I think I'm waking up. All I see is ash to ash, dust to dust. Now I think I've lost my way. If it's the last thing that I say, I'll never give it up, never gonna give it up. I'll never give it up, never gonna give it up. I'll never give it up, never gonna give it up. I'll never give it up, never gonna give it up. Never give it up, never gonna give it up.
A best of 3 between Team Liquid and OG here in the upper division of the Western European DPC League. And just to reiterate the stakes here, we got Team Liquid. If they win, guaranteed no longer having a chance of being eliminated. Then they're safe. They might not go to the major. They might go to the major, but at least they won't be going to Division 2. If OG wins here, then they are guaranteed major in whatever shape or form. And then for Liquid, if they lose, it means they still have a chance of being eliminated or relegated to Division 2, is how we say it. We're joined by BSJ for the draft. We have Kyle Tigov here as well. And Tigov, I believe you wanted to start this one off.
Yeah, so going into game 1, Liquid chose first pick, as Kyle mentioned in the previous draft panel, and going into game 2, OG had priority, and they actually chose second pick themselves. So I feel like if you're Liquid right now, you have to be thinking about this Alchemist, simply because what happens if OG pick it again on 8, and Liquid's openings aren't prepared for that? There needs to be some respect shown towards the Alchemist.
I would like to talk to Kyle real quick because I feel like he was a bit harsh towards Boxy last game.
Okay.
So I want to present this scenario to you.
Okay.
Where you have a 4-position Willow against a 5-position Abaddon. It's like a pretty hard 1-to-1 support counter. You're laning against either Monkey King or Alchemist. So Alchemist is really nice against Core Prophet. Viper's banned out. And you have to pick an offlaner that can survive the lane with a countered support against Monkey King, or an absolute last pick that counters you. What do you pick?
Venomancer.
I feel like Liquid lost the draft before that. Go ahead.
Venomancer.
Venomancer against Abaddon?
Yeah.
How about Slaughter?
You don't really play with the Gale too much, or you Gale after shield, and you just hit him with W's. But more importantly, I think you just kind of have to pick a ranged offlaner in that spot, because all of the melee ones that can actually contest an MK with so much sustain are already banned out.
But what if they were to pick like a carry that counters Venomancer in lane, put Monkey King mid, put Alk off lane?
Oh, you can always swap the lanes and just put the Venom mid.
Does
Okay,
anybody
so you just think the fact that they threw him to the wolves.
They're
Yeah.
having a nice
I think you're-
moment. It's not really...
But I think
What?
just in the meantime, we're having the replay on for last game. I think we want to
Yeah,
have
we
game
do.
2 for this one, just for production. Thank you.
Oh.
No longer rerunning game 1. Thank you.
I just don't think you can last pick something.
Scripted,
Sorry,
am I
Brian.
right?
Apparently they're just not listening to
Please.
you, Brian. I understand.
No, it's fine,
Okay.
yeah.
But yeah,
I just think going into this draft, it's relevant. That's the only reason I'm talking
We're gonna have
about
like
Yeah.
a mini conversation. What's
what
that
the
talk?
hell?
sure.
Can you guys stop?
Like, you can theory craft
Oh,
this
the
ever.
Alchemist is back! Right! Energy! Alright, so anyway, yeah, going back to it,
Jesus.
this doesn't matter, Carl. We got more picks.
It's a good pick. You better ban the Monkey King now, and indeed they do.
And this is what I meant when OG are second
Yeah.
pick. You know what I would like to see OG do with
would you
their
like to see?
moment of brilliance? Maybe, if it's a good game, suddenly put the Alchemist in the carry role. Don't put it in that offlane role. Just change up the script a little bit.
But it's going to be offline.
Oh,
I actually think, and this is the OG staple, right? They find something a little busted, and then they lean on it. They steal the series with it.
Why not?
Yeah.
If it wins, you know.
okay, so in that, why is it a little bit confusing then that Liquid hasn't really presented their opening to deal with this 8th or this second pick Alchemist then? Because when I see Puck, you don't play into Alchemist that well. Void Spirit, same thing. Like, you like to jump heroes and blow them up. You never do that to the Alchemist.
Yeah.
So I'm already a bit worried that Liquid hasn't really learned from game 1, and they're still sticking to like their strategies, what they want to play, and that doesn't always help when you're playing up against, you know, kind of new iterations of how heroes are played.
They thought that Monkey King was the problem. Brian, do you know any other heroes that would be really good with such an early Axe other than Monkey
I
King?
am gonna say it right now.
Yes?
Night Stalker.
Okay.
Oh, that's not one.
Is there
that
any
was-
reasoning behind that, Brian?
I think Night Stalker is very good against Puck Void Spirit, and I think his Ag Scepter is only a bad item theoretically because he can't farm it.
I just disagree solely based on the fact OG's thinking about their own draft. They're trying to get mid-1 hero to hyper carry status. They're not picking carry Night Stalker to like.
How is that not a hyper
Wait, hold
carry?
on.
Do you know how much damage that hero does?
What?
I thought, you know, heroes that you normally always build an axe on anyway, that you just want to have faster, like Zeus,
Yeah,
you know?
the key thing here is the reason why that game went so well for OG. They had a carry that with Aghanim's unlocked Roshan pre-15. That Aegis gave them
It's
such
because
a...
it's Monkey King eggs. What?
That's the thing, that's what I'm saying, Kyle. We're saying the same thing. You don't
But
need
it
to...
scales. It increases your farming speed. And Ags on like think of it like this: Alchemist, he gets more gold out of the map, buys this Ags, then gets the Monkey King, who now can get more gold out of the map. Like it unlocks the hero.
Night Stalker doesn't get more out of the map than a previous Night Stalker?
It doesn't scale exponentially the way damage and right clicks do. You can
I see.
AOE a Q. That isn't
And that's why, based off of Kyle's logic, of course, the Monkey King, Juggernaut, and Gyro, these are all 3 heroes that with Aghanim's can do those things. So
well, I'm saying those are all going to be banned out. So we're going to have, if they're going to leave this as an offlane Alk, we're going to have to go to the heroes that may be the
if they pick Night Stalker, Brian, I will legitimately run around this studio.
It is no longer snowing. It's not as funny.
No, but okay, so I think potentially with this Beastmaster ban, it still might push the Alk into a carry role. I think Beastmaster against Alchemist is always one of those awkward matchups where the BKB piercing raw always hinders you a little bit. So that's why maybe this Alk could be flexible carry, like I said earlier.
No, I agree. It's possible.
They could just go like Oracle type save here on the next pick with the Death Prophet out.
That was a hero I expected to see Liquid. That's another thing, by the way, I think Liquid could have picked for boxing the offlane in the previous game. Just something that deals with Alk and is in general just a solid hero pickup. I think that the carry Alk could be possible. You bring out the Ags later, but it's a really nice item just to throw on a Death Prophet.
Key thing is, for carry Alk, Ags is not even kind of in question.
But it could be.
Yeah, sure, eventually, after like 7 items that you farmed in 25 minutes and you're already,
Well, AA is insane value right now. I'm not sure if you can get away with it, but this is a Dream Ancient Apparition game for Liquid. And I think that the hero not being thought of as good is part of the reason DP and Alk are becoming visible, because there's just too much sustain represented.
Even if the DP is 5 and the Alk is 3, like, is there still enough value for an AA? Considering the position?
That's probably why they don't want to instantly lock it in now, because of the flexibility of the hero suddenly going from cores into, they're now suddenly in that kind of supporting cast on an offlane role.
That's why it's so tricky with this Alchemist pick, because, again, you're activating the carry. He could still be the 1 position. You would really want that AA. But if you pick it too early, you just say, okay, well, you've lost the game now, because this hero will just be 5k net worth, and we're going to beat you with this non-regen base.
The key thing here is Liquid has to be so careful with what they pick, because this next pick from OG most likely is going to be Topson's hero, just so that kind of flexibility of DP Alk is unfolded in that last pick. And that's why if they pick a squishy hero, suddenly you're running into like a Topson Tiny. If you pick a hero with no lockdown, you're going to have like an Ember in that last spirit coming in. And that's why if they pick a squishy hero, suddenly you're running into like a Topson Tiny.
Would be very
if you pick a hero with no lockdown,
Big
spell, still big spell, use big spell,
his
looks
only,
good on the tally.
I think Saxa's happy though.
His drafting tips almost always revolved around, can they Anti-Mage? And ban Rubik if you're going to pick Enigma.
My dad,
when
I was coaching Chaos, it was always we hard play Timbersaw. And my dad would text me like, pick the guy that kills trees. He's really good at that one. And we're like playing up against like Vichy Gaming, best of one Nurbrack. I'm like, I don't think we can.
Yeah, point being that, Liquid obviously very comfortable with the hero. I think it is excellent, but you just won't really be able to play around the black hole. It could also just be an Insania hero, which I would really like. I think.
But do you?
Not really into Alchemist, actually.
Okay, the key thing here is, think about how OG played that first game. They had the strong lanes, they collapsed them up quickly at minute 15 with their Ags being transitioned over. Of course, maybe the Alks carry, but still, it's that pressure they apply. They have flexibility
strong
in all 3
lanes
heroes now. And for me, my only fear for Liquid being transitioned over. Of course, maybe the Alks carry, but still, it's that pressure in the idea that they kind of they pressure lanes very generically. They're not making these quick, strong lanes heroes now. And for me, my only fear running into it is DP, and of course, maybe the Alks carry. So maybe if you have pressure in the idea that they kind of they pressure lanes very generically. They don't.
Brian, I see a problem with lack of damage coming out for Team Liquid. How are they going to solve it?
Timbersaw could be the saving grace. Sorry.
I'm honestly not really sure because they have to address the laning
I know,
issue.
but I thought Timber really could. I want to say it quickly.
Robson.
Sorry, Brian, go ahead.
Yeah, you're fine. The last game they had Nature's Prophet against Alk, and this game they just picked Enigma and Alk. It's like the same idea. You have summons that are squishy to physical damage, and so not only, like you said, they do have to check this box of bringing down these tanky cores, but then I think they might just have this issue again where Alk's going to have all the space in the world to either farm his Zags as an offlaner or hit this ridiculous timing as a carry. They can flex it since they have absolute last pick. They can put it in whatever side lane. Timbersaw is a great answer in regards to the pressure that they need to apply in the early game. And I think this is a stark contrast to last game in terms of their approach. They went with the tower pressure approach of the Lone Druid, but he doesn't lane well against Alk. You saw they kind of skipped that portion of the game. So I like this pick a lot better. And now they just need to have like a superior win condition, because Timbersaw, he basically makes space for like 15 minutes, and that hero kind of sucks afterwards. So they're gonna have to make a hero that really capitalizes on that first. Early
It could be safe lane. It could be anybody's hero on Liquid. So it's quite nice. Can have some troubles with core Death Prophet, sure, but really great matchups against the Alk and the DK. But it works, and this is just much more of a boxy hero. I hope he's playing it.
I'd love Liquid to round out their draft with like a Razor or just something fully into the
Ew.
fight. Just hear it out, right? So right now, look at Liquid's heroes. They're not really lane dominators. So they're going to be lane dominators, with the Timber Saw that offsets the timing of OG. It's not as comfortable as before. But I want them to be able to double down on that aggression. We've seen how flexible they are with Void Spirit and what lane it plays, and just really collapse the map. But again, it really depends on where OG's putting this Alk and DK, because of course, if DK's now your mid, Alk's your carry, they pick an off lane. It's so hard for Liquid to pick with confidence. And you talk about a win condition, but I don't see how they secure the win conditions farm, because it's only Timber who's got the best game right now. Everyone else is kind of awkward. So picking a strong win condition, you can't cover his farm. So you need a hero that's strong enough by himself to be able to take the fight with his team and play off of that timing, try and collapse the map.
There is no patience or no hesitation for OG for their bans, by the way. And we see Insania in a conversation with Koikfag because the decision has not yet been made, I would imagine,
look
to who's
happy.
playing what.
Well, they lost the game. They're
I
gonna
know,
come back.
but-
I mean,
Yeah, but they
even
look
the
like they're
Avengers
pushed
lost.
in a
That's
corner.
There was a pit just at the first draft. He was so bubbly
He was so
and
happy, Jab smiling in the
Oh
background.
my god.
Two for two, baby!
Robson, our goal is to try and explain why heroes are
I just
not
did.
He did before it
did.
was picked, Kyle.
And also, the other thing as well, my dear, about the Razor is we saw in the lower division how no Bounty Hunter, when they were playing into a Death Prophet, potentially if it was core, he went for
Yeah.
BKB Blade Mail, you just soak up the damage. So no, I like the fact that Liquid did double down on that. And yeah, it's really
No, you're right.
leaning into it. Thank you, Carl.
Really good job.
What do you reckon of the? Ooh, okay, Brian, you get to go first of this arc.
What does Arc Warden's Ags even do now? I need to look this
It
up.
makes the Wraith bounce,
It makes it a second spark
Yeah,
rate,
yeah,
so
yeah.
it's not like an acceleration item like we saw last game with the Monkey King.
The Force Evolution.
I think Team Liquid's last two picks really sealed their draft here. Like it just finished it filled in all the boxes. They have the early pressure. They have the damage later with the Razor. Razor punishes these super tanky heroes because even though his initial burst damage isn't that great, it's like it doesn't help you to survive an extra 10 seconds if you do 0 damage and he's suddenly hitting for 400. So I think Liquid's going to have all the pace they need. They have the late game condition for the Enigma. Taiga has shown that he can absolutely carry these games. I think they're all on their comfort zone heroes. They rotated a puck to support, just like Kyle said. I like their draft a lot. I think Liquid's got this game.
Yep.
All right, thank you very much, Brian.
I agree. I'm questioning though, what will the Alk Ags on DK do? Because it doesn't take you right to Black Dragon, right? That would
No,
just
yeah,
be
you
the
have to
4th
be-
level.
exactly.
So in theory, you could do something weird. Maybe you get 12 like you get the Red Dragon faster, a Frost Dragon faster. Like, does that affect your ability to take stacks or something? Like, how strong will a level 15, 16 minute Frost Dragon be for mid one?
I'm trying to think about maybe if they just look towards giving the Rubik, or they activate the support in a different way. But again, it's more, I think it's just a drafting thing at this point. You're not leaning on the Ags now. It's just more, okay, we have the heroes. If we want to go Ags, we can. But, it's a refreshing game.
You can give Rubik the Ags, and then he's gonna steal Black Hole, and
Yeah,
you're gonna be able to
Hey,
steal.
I mean-
Saxa will steal it.
I gotta say, I mean, Robson's the last two picks, like they're true. Maybe, yeah, this is why we bring a coach on panel. Liquid's got this. They have two coaches. We
And
got one
I
here.
think everybody wants Liquid to get this because that means we will get a third game to the series because they are one game down at the moment. What will happen in game 2? We're gonna find out together with Moxie and Purge.
Yeah, we'll see if the sequel's as good as the first video. It almost never is, this first movie.
That's
but,
not true. There are some films where the second movie is even better.
That's true. Terminator is probably the big one, right?
That and Star Wars, hello? Empire Strikes Back.
Also true. That's true.
Yeah.
But we'll see how it works. Yeah, the Ags, feeding an Ags to Dragonite is kind of cool. It gives him a lot of magic resistance. That part is really, really excellent. And then free pathing, that's kind of nice too. And obviously levels up his ulti. But yeah, I kind of agree with the panel. Maybe Seb goes for a faster Blink Dagger, tries to get active, then gives Ags later on. That could be an option. Or they try to make the Ags Arc Warden be really effective too. It could give them a lot of map control if they just spam Spark Rates around a tower.
Well, Boxy is going to get caught here by the side of OG, but again, he is a Timber Saw. He hasn't opted to scale anything just yet either, so mid one will start off with that Dragon Tail.
He's going to safe lane, so this is not...
Ooh, we're in fine form coming out here from Liquid. To be fair,
It was,
OG will usually do the same thing right back, usually, so.
It was incredible how well timed that was. It was like they counted it down. They're like, okay, guys, we got to tip him at the same exact moment. Boom, 4 hits him.
Yeah, it's all about that mental warfare here, you know? OG, they're kings of that. These are the guys that go in and they're just having fun. They're laughing. You saw the way Mid 1 giggled when they saw that Arc Warden getting picked up. You got to have a strong mental game too, Purge. I expect to see that in your coaching from now on too.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind.
Good. But yeah, we do have the Arc Warden here. He's going to be duking it out with Mickey and have a nice stat over there. Overwhelmingly picked on Radiant 14 times, 9-9 in DPC, but not ever picked up here in EU just yet.
Yeah, we'll see if it ends up working out. Lanes are going to be a bit weird. We put Dragon Knight against Razor, which should be pretty good for Razor since he's a melee hero that you can sap damage from. Puck versus Death Prophet will be fine. No Tail not willing to trade right now, running for his life here, which is a little surprising because he's actually got way more regen than his opponent does, but not quite ready to fight yet.
Well, he's out of the Spirit Siphon charges too, so.
And then Taiga jungling too.
I feel like
Last hitting Dragon Knight.
a lot of the pressure is on, you know, this Arc Warden to have all that damage, right? Because you're gonna have some tanky boys coming out from the side of OG, but you know, Dragon Knight not really known for being able to, you know, dish out that damage.
Good point. Yeah, Dragon Knight's damage is oftentimes he's more about initiating more so than dealing DPS. They've got some upsides, I guess. I mean, Acid Spray is still going to amplify whatever damage you're dealing. Death Prophet support often does way more damage than a typical 5-position hero does if you keep her alive with Exorcism going. So there's some damage methods that should be effective.
Yeah, but we're already seeing, you know, that advantage that a Razor can have against a DK. As he takes a decent chunk of that damage away from him. He's gonna have an easier time going for these hits here.
It's kind of cool having the Timber Saw against the Alk lane. Like BSJ pointed out in the last game, you Acid Spray creep waves, and then they can't fight you in that. But Timber can because he has an abnormally high amount of armor from reactive armor, so he doesn't care as much to deal with this. And having Timber against all these melee cores is going to be excellent for Boxy. This is definitely one of his better heroes, so I'm sure he's going to be able to have a good game here, doing the typical Orb of Venom rundown on heroes that can't trade with you. He's doing a great job in this lane.
He's just chasing down Saksa here. Definitely a threat in this lane for sure.
Thompson
We
in
already
trouble
saw
mid.
that. Thompson getting ganked here by Taiga. The Aether Remnant drags him back in, and that's going to be our first blood. Going over to Mickey.
And Koifa also killing No Tail. So looked like Thompson got a little aggressive on the opposite side of the map, but Taiga moved over, got a disable off, and therefore they got the easy rundown. Arc Warden's a really slow hero. I think he's like 285. Yeah, 285 without boots. So if you do get out of position, you've got a long chase.
I do like the way that the Enigma's kind of bouncing around these two lanes and making sure that, you know, he can respond if they get a little bit too overzealous, which is something that, you know, OG does like to be very aggressive. We talked about this in the first game.
Do like to be aggressive, yeah. So moving around can definitely help win these lanes potentially. But 2 kills right now for Team Liquid. They're pretty happy with their game position, especially if they can limit a little bit the overall farm of their opponents. Seb looking like he feels like he has to go leave the lane. He's prepping to stack a jungle camp. We'll see if he gets a double stack here. Probably going to do an attack and then an acid spray to stack the other one, I guess here. But Taiga moving over, he's not going to block it in time. Stack and try to farm it. So this is where things get iffy for offlane now, 100%. We saw when 3-3 played it, AFK jungling was still pretty quick, especially when you get Grieval's Greed and skip Unstable Concoction, and getting a Mud Golem camp is excellent too. There's a lot of summons, but you know he's not going to get the Ags nearly as fast this game, most likely, with this lane setup.
Is that going to end? I mean, we've talked about this before, the fact that, you know, in game number 1, mid 1 won the lane handedly, and then also, you know, the Alchemist had a great time. Is that going to automatically set them off as a detriment?
It absolutely should, yeah, because the Ags are going to come later. Look at the other lanes. Thompson got killed mid. His net worth, or still, last hits are still good. He's sitting at 24, and he's going to go Midas, still fine. But, I mean, look, Koiva's just dumpstering the top lane.
He's just
killed
chasing down No Tail.
Twice now. Exactly, like he's got boots already. He basically knows that he can win this lane. Mid one can't out-harass him because it's a Dragon Knight. So, like, having Razor in this circumstance, they just pick basically 2 side lane cores that are just really good at fighting.
And the dive on here in the bottom lane for Saksa. No Tail is going to join in. Boxy does have those mangoes if necessary. He's going to Timber Chain. He's still chasing after Saksa here. He's going deep into these woods. This is not looking super great here for Saksa as Boxy just slowly a rusty saw to the face Not the way you want to go down as Mickey and Insania over in the mid lane trying to make the plays on tops and trying to get this kill, and they're going to be able to do it. Yes, they are. Not the way you want to go down as Mickey and Insania over in the mid lane trying to make the plays on tops and trying to get this kill, and they're going to be able to do it. Yes, they are. Not the way you want to go down as Mickey.
No, but basically Liquid just identified, they said like they're going to try to do the same Kraptos again, and then they just picked the right heroes for it. They got 2 side lane cores that win their matchups pretty convincingly. They happen to get them in matchups that are very good. Having Timbersaw versus Alk is perfect. Having Razor versus an offlane DK is perfect. And they happen to kill tops in the mid lane now twice. They're winning 3 lanes. This is like a massive advantage for Liquid.
Koif is just really enjoying sapping all of that damage there from mid 1. Just chases him down. Looks like they're trying to make some plays over here on Mickey, but you know, what are you going to do with a Death Prophet 5? You've got some nice silence, yes, but it's a lot more difficult, right, than compared to what they have going on the side of Liquid.
It is, and he's struggling for gold and levels because of the fact that he's died twice in lane now. Just picking up a magic stick and a raindrop, it'll help him survive burst, but having a boots at this position would feel a lot better. But either way, Void Spirit hitting 6, like, yeah, you're not going to be able to kill him. The best thing you can do now is just sit behind him and be ready for the dive when it comes, because Mickey is definitely thinking about it with that DD.
You can see the way that the sports are playing. They do spot out Taiga, though, over here, so we'll be able to force him out of the jungle. But the tower goes down. Boxy taking it around a little bit before 7 minutes. Feels very...
He's not even sacrificing himself much here. He will get gone on, but it's a long chase. He's got boots. His opponents are half booted here.
Oh, Boxy chasing after Saxa again. He has just been bullying this poor Rubik on and off, non-stop. Down he goes. Although it does look like they're trying to make some plays. Mickey, though, with the double damage. He's sitting very low. Has to be careful. He's taking a lot. Not quite going to be enough. That Crypt Swarm not strong enough either, as Mickey, 70-something hit points. Going to be able to walk away, and the Chakram is doing a lot of damage. Mickey, he's just tossing back and forth within here. Is he finally going to get punished?
Oh
no, he's not. No tail now, looking like he's going to be in trouble. Set next to fall. If they get one more hit off, and by God, they will.
Not looking good for OG, guys. That's a big loss of heroes here. They almost got Mickey, but he just min-maxes it there and stays alive. I'm sure any Liquid fan is really excited right now. That is so big.
Look
here it is again. Mickey in trouble, not looking so good. Gets the double jump, all 3 tops, and Insania blocks him about 3 times in a row. Really nice move there by Liquid to throw the game briefly, but it couldn't stop him. Mickey gets a ton of shield right there, and No Tail only having level 1 nuke really costing him there. If No Tail's level 4, 100% he dies.
God, Mickey went down to 42 hit points during that whole thing and still was able to walk away. That almost looked like it's just gonna yawn.
Yeah.
I will say, yeah, Boxy is just a big threat right now. There's not a whole heck of a lot that they really can do against the Timber with their lineup at this time.
He's such a good player playing from ahead. Like, it's one of his greatest strengths, I think, as an offlane player, is that if he does get these like hero matchup advantages, he knows where to go, he knows how to be aggressive. Like, just getting Thompson's HP to half is massive, because now Thompson is not going to want to play aggressive anytime soon here. And he's also shifted from the lane that was easy to kill, the safe lane tower, and he instantly goes mid. And basically his whole team can ignore him, knowing that he's ahead, knowing that he can also pressure heroes. Instead, he's now going to rotate top, because that's where OG's pressuring. He just wants to go everywhere. That's going to make it inconvenient for OG to play Dota.
Spirit Siphon coming out from No Tail. Insania standing nearby. No 6 yet. No Tail looks like he's going to fall. He's regens a decent amount, but... And over on the bottom lane, Sox is just getting chased by Mickey this entire time.
They're just rotating all
dancing back and forth. Okay, maybe they get a kill on Taiga.
They do. Taiga's super farm, though. He's already got Necro 1, and he's a 4 position hero, by the way. He's been jungling. His net worth is slightly higher than Arc Wardens. It's almost the same as Dragon Knights. And everybody else on Liquid side is massively ahead. So this is still looking excellent for Liquid.
Oh,
they're basically just...
Okay, they don't have anything to interrupt that TP, so he's going to be able to teleport out, no problem, but definitely got very low with Boxy just yo-yoing of death back and forth there. Bottle refill, pressure in 2 lanes.
They'll commit to this tower now. I assume they've got Necro 1 in about 17 seconds here. And they've got smokes ready on Enigma too. They could try to smoke around, but they're just going to play it safe. They don't need to like smoke and hard commit for these engagements. They catch the Observer Ward there. That's huge. Going to make it even harder for OG to defend, because they're not going to necessarily know exactly where Liquid's heroes are. So for now, Boxy does it solo. Quakefoot going to retreat from top. And Sox is still trying to catch up in net worth on the bot lane. Insania will get 6 here as well. So just really easy pressure mid. No-Tail might die in the mid lane. Looking dead.
Yeah, he's getting chased here by Boxy. Just a couple of clicks. And eventually down goes No-Tail. They'll lose tops into the top lane though, but oh, the black hole coming in from Taiga. Koifa gonna be able to just kite them left and right. They get the kill on Seb. Mid one is left all alone. They have the double damage on Mickey. It's gonna be Taiga who cleans up. A disaster for OG.
The
Bottom
efficiency
lane,
from Liquid.
they're gonna go right after Soxa. He just wanted levels, guys. No, it's a a triple kill for Mickey.
The amount of map control and like efficiency they're getting on the map is insane. Taiga TP'd mid, he summoned his Eidolons, he spawned his Necro, and they destroyed mid while Timber is killing the support that tries to defend it. And in the meantime, I'm like, oh, the tower's dead. Then I look top, boom, black hole. So he puts all of his summons mid. He doesn't even need to be top to participate in that fight. And they're just consistently winning all lanes. This is like the most winning 3 lanes crap I've seen, and maybe all DPC. Because it's not like they just won the laning stage. Just like they are constantly winning 3 lanes, no matter where they go.
Right into Boxy, right into Taiga. Mickey's coming in hot with that Aether Remnant, and Boxy gets himself yet another kill. You are indeed dead. And Koifa's
just queued up his eggs.
Koifa has not left his lane, I'm pretty sure. He's just been allowed to do pretty much anything. He did rotate once at one point. But look at these TPs coming out immediately. Koifa, he's so fast. Sania, Waning Rift coming forward here. Doesn't have the Dream Coil for another 12 seconds. Taiga getting into position, does not have Black Hole, but of course we'll go drop that Midnight Pulse. Does a decent amount of damage. Is now Seb isolated from the rest of his team. Koifa's just dancing around here. He's walking his Alchemist over here, and he's going to be able to... No, he does get stunned up. One more hit will do the trick, and down goes Seb. It's not looking great for mid one either, as he's just getting blinked away by Puck.
Okay.
Soxa over in the corner. They're just getting steamrolled here.
Guys, Puck is a higher level than Dragonite is right now. That's a 5-position support. This is not good.
The step is double going down. He did get his Midas off, though. You know, efficiency.
Good for him. And then he Midas Razor by dying. Yeah. Okay.
Mickey is on the hunt, and they will not only take down the Tempest double up top, but they'll take down the original copy. And this one, his hand Midas is not on cooldown. Passive Midas feels bad, man.
I think the strategy is really effectively dismantled this game. Like, I think what was kind of crucial about OG last game was that Monkey King as an eggs pickup, really effective, right? But Monkey King also is a lane winner. Right. And that's what was crucial here. Their Ag's potential heroes here are not like crazy lane winners, and they're not as flexible as a Monkey King is. So OG just had the better draft for the strategy in game 1. Game 2 heavily punished by Liquid's reaction picks.
Oh dear, Soxa already just gets drawn right back in. They'll go to use the Exorcism, but they're just not doing much damage over here, as Boxy, of course, can just go Timber Chain away. The Ghosts are doing a decent amount, though. Are they finally going to be able to take down Boxy? Yes, they do. We'll go back in again. Koifa dancing around. No-Tail still chasing after Dream Coil, coming off over onto the back line. So they go, they take down mid one. And now No-Tail trying to just get as much damage with these ghostly ladies as possible, so he doesn't do it down, but he does fall. And now Seb getting chased behind the tier 2. The GG gets called. OG, they've had enough. As Liquid figures it out, Mickey gets the rampage. And this is, you know, one of the strengths of Liquid, I feel, is that they're very quick on the uptake purge.
Really, they equalized it out. They made the strat look bad, and that is the weakness of offlane Alec right there. If you cannot win your lane and your opponent's pressure remotely effectively, it looks real weak because you are a vulnerability. Their opponents pick strong laning heroes. They happen to win all 3 lanes, so it looked worse than it generally is, but absolutely commanding dismantling. And the fact that they were able to do this in game 2, they identified this strat, they instantly dealt with it, and to be able to pivot into that in the middle of the series, I think is really commendable. And they just look like an incredible team here. So I cannot wait to see what happens game 3 draft.
I'm very excited about that too, especially, you know, we do have the major coming up as well, but, you know, OG, they're a very, very powerful team, one of the few teams that actually set the meta, but Liquid, you know, that's one of the things that they do really well is they figure out what went wrong in game 1 and they adjust. So we are indeed going to be going to a game 3, but we are going to toss it over to panel because I think there is a very happy T-Gov that probably wants to talk all about these picks.
He will get to talk about all these picks, and we will talk about this game probably longer than what it was. 13.5-minute game. I believe that's the shortest so far in at least in the Western European DPC League. But we're going to talk all about it after the break.
With the right CPU, you can turn any game from familiar to phenomenal. Unleash the potential in all your gaming with Intel 10th Gen processors. With its optimal balance of threads, cores, and frequency to deliver elite real-world performance, only Intel can bring Marvel's Avengers to life with in-game PC optimizations. Supercharge your Marvel's Avengers experience with Intel Core i5, i7, and i9 processors.
My name is Jordan Gilbert, aka Nothing.
Hi, my name is Sue Lee. My handle is Smix. I think it's important for these initiatives to happen. Empathy really, really goes a long way, and it always means so much to us, and I think that's where initiatives like this really help.
I encourage everyone in the community, anytime they see bullying, anytime they see someone getting called names, I encourage you to step up and say something.
Good luck, have fun.
Good luck, have fun.
What's your style? Get your merch at shop.eslgaming.com.
You ask if we could talk, but then say nothing. Maybe you just had too much to say. 'Cause when you call me up, you just want one thing. And maybe in the end you'll get your way. But I just wanna know, oh yeah, if we should take it slow, oh yeah. I just wanna show ya, I'd do anything for you, girl. I just wanna know, oh yeah. I just wanna know. We just need to stop and take a moment to slow things down, work this out. I got your love on top, we're in the moment, and maybe that's what we're about. Tell me what you want me to be, baby. I promise I can be the one you're craving. 'Cause I think that I know what you've been chasing. And girl, I'm sick of waiting. I'll be yours for the taking. But I just wanna know, oh yeah, if we should take it slow. Oh yeah, I just wanna show you, I'd do anything for you, girl. I just wanna know, oh yeah, I just wanna know. I just wanna know. I just wanna know. I just wanna know you, baby. Yeah. I just wanna know, oh yeah, if we should take it slow. Oh yeah, I just wanna show you, I'd do anything for you, girl. I just wanna know, oh yeah, I just wanna know, oh yeah, if we should take it slow. Oh yeah, I just wanna show you, I'd do anything for you, girl. I just wanna know, oh yeah, I just wanna know. I just wanna know, I just wanna know.
In the fastest ever game in Upper Division, 13 and a half minutes. That's what Team Liquid did. They forced out
Wow.
the GG from OG, and they were the third fastest overall from the whole DPC. Some lower division games have gone even faster, but in the upper division, this is the fastest anybody's ever forced out that GG.
I know a lot about. Never mind.
I mean, I could throw it like that. If I was a male, I would probably said, as someone who knows all about speed, and then in a different way, you know, being fast.
Rich Campbell is somewhere rolling around like, the opportunity. There's even a Willow last game.
No.
Yeah, just a thorough shellacking and dismantling, absolute domination. You can't pull out the same sorry stuff twice against Team Liquid. At a point, they had the top 4 CS on the board.
Yeah.
They won every lane and the jungle. The 4th lane.
Well, it's the key thing. It's the final 2. I'm not just saying this, but it is the final 2 picks of the draft that really unlocks it. No, I'm being serious. Please don't. No. It's the fact that this Timbersaw, he has a completely free game. And I would love, if OG do win this series, we have to ask the question simply, Topson, your Arc Warden pick, was it OG asking you, hey, buddy, what hero do you want to play? It's like, Arc Warden, bang! Or was it like, what's best for this game?
It really fits.
That Arc, like the pressure that these side lanes apply with this Razor, with this Timbersaw, look at this. Like your mid lane, if he was an active mid, maybe you could try and make some plays on the other side of the map, open up the game. But he's a Midas rushing Arc Warden, playing into his own jungle. And when you have your mid lane playing defensively backwards and your side lanes also collapsing inwardsly, you're losing all the entire game.
It's also the perfect hero for an Enigma to play with because all Timbersaw wants is a free lane. So you give him the first couple of waves, you deny it back, and then you can just screw off. And now Timbersaw's got a level advantage. And a Rubik support, nothing. DK core, absolutely nothing. You just can't touch this hero. Yeah, just wild stuff. I really can't believe that Liquid got away with that 4th pick Timber. Really, I think that the Razor secures it, yes, because it dominates the Alkin lane. But you could have replaced Razor. You can't replace Timbersaw. You have a DK and an Alk.
What did they ban out instead? They banned out Bloodseeker and Lycan.
Well, Timber was 4.
So in the second phase,
Timber
they banned,
was 4. You're right.
It was Viper, Ursa, and Beastmaster. With the change being in the game before, they banned Batrider because of the Monkey King.
Yeah.
So it really, you'd have to question maybe the Beastmaster ban, because if you think about NA, when they pick Alchemist, great region NA by the way, they always ban the Timbersaw because they know how disruptive it is.
What was that face?
It was a face. You know what the face was for. I don't need to explain.
I mean, look, OG, they might meme on Twitter, but obviously they're taking some of their strategies and insights from the strongest region.
Well, technically, it was from the failed attempts of Nigma and Viking, because NA do it in the carry role, OG's doing it in the offlane. Therefore, they are learning from Europe alone. China plays it mid, so this is very much a European thing.
It's going to be a lot of Alchemists at the major.
I know. This is going to be there's actually going to be a patch after the wild card. Map changes. That's what I've heard.
Actually, just a quick update. Have you guys felt the update at all in the games that we've seen so far?
We haven't got teams that actively want to play, for example, Batrider. Come into effect. Of course, the Furin game, it's kind of whatever.
And I guess we have the biggest difference is we don't see Earthshaker at all.
Yeah, I think
he's just gone.
It will still see play, but the thing is, the reason it was so powerful is because it was an overall first pick, right? That's the thing about these heroes, specifically Batrider as well. It's now still good as a situational pick, but previously it's like, oh, who cares if it's countered, right? I'm just gonna farm. I'll at some point have bots, BKB, and I'll kill things. Whereas now, it just doesn't work. It's still something you must ban if you're going to play stuff like Monkey King, but it is not I can first pick this hero and feel good. And it took it down from that level.
Okay, and for game number 3 here, I'm very curious. We saw Liquid with the adjustments in the second game, and they're just, all right, this is how it's supposed to be played, and game over, 13.5 minutes. After a game like that, do you think that OG is going to say, okay, you know what, Alkstrat not working, or was that not the problem to begin with? What's the problem?
They're going to go again.
They're going to go again?
No. Okay, so simply put, Liquid chose first pick in game 1.
Yeah.
OG chose second pick. So
is this a coin toss again?
Yeah, it'll be coin toss again. So, but the thing is that both teams are choosing different pick sides, right? So I would be expecting, the first pick to go to Liquid and second pick to go to OG again. So the real question is simply, if they want to go Alk again, do they have an idea how to ban into it, or at least prepare themselves for other heroes? Because again, simply this Arc Warden pick, you're playing all lanes towards your own jungle and towards your own ancient. There is no hero that actively invades, and that alone is a recipe for disaster against a Timbersaw.
Could have picked Tinker. That was the hero.
Instead of what? Instead of Arc?
Warden.
Tinker would have been it?
Probably not, but I mean, what were you going to do? Arc Warden makes sense because they're already so far behind in that draft. It had to be some hero that just changes the win condition. It's just like, we have this now.
Yeah.
The nuclear weapon of the draft had to be selected.
Well, the first couple of picks and bans were the same in Game 2 compared to Game 1. Will it be the same again for Game 3? We're going to find out. We're going to go to a quick break, but when we're back, it is draft time for Liquid and OG Game 3. That only just joined us, let me reiterate the stakes real quick. OG versus Team Liquid. If OG wins, they are guaranteed a major. Still up in the air what kind of capacity, but at least they'll be guaranteed at a Singapore major. And for Liquid, if they win here, then they are guaranteed safe from elimination. AKA, if they lose here, elimination still very much an option from Division 1, at least for Team Liquid. And they also still have a chance to make it to the major, depending on scenarios, but they also still have to win. Let's find out what's going to happen, though, because we have to decide our game. It is 1-1 with Liquid and OG. We have BSJ on the big screen, Kyle and Tigov here with me as well, and they can't wait to start talking about the draft that is looking the same, T.
Yeah, so again, the key thing here is now Liquid coming into Game 3. They chose second pick, so the first time we're going to be seeing them in that second pick of the series, and they're going to still keep that morphling within the first phase of bans, but of course OG now has to push the Nixon to their side of bans because Liquid won't be banning that out themselves. Then of course Liquid, they value this puck so highly, they ban it themselves, and bang! Koddle comes through, OG gets the first pick, Koddle.
Yep. Not surprised to see Coddle. This hero's been banned out both games previously. Was affected by the changes slightly, but it's still effectively the same exact hero, specifically in the way that it can combo. Yeah, dig it.
What are you thinking, Brian?
I'm expecting an entirely different draft. That's one thing I'm happy about. Last game, I think this third game, we just got a best of one. We got Cheese the first game. We got the Cheese, spoiled itself in the second game. So we got Coddle, high tempo, Void Spirit, high tempo. A lot of these Spirit heroes, like all of them, they don't really benefit as much from the cooldown, at least Void Spirit and Storm, but they have so much more reach in the mid game with the extra volley of spells from the Coddle. So what it does is it gives the Coddle somebody to play around for like the first 10 or 15 minutes. And then eventually, you buff up your carry as well. So it's just, I'm worried about Liquid because the first game, the tempo that OG set was the problem. The second game, I think OG wasn't even capable of setting that tempo with their draft, but they're already looking good to do so in the first 2 picks.
Grimstroke has some flexibility, but I think it's just going to be an Insania hero. So Liquid going to utilize that second pick, just try and match enemy cores. I am a little worried. Something I've experienced in my playing days is you get to that critical game 3 and you're like, they like this side, or they like the pick that we thought was inferior. So you switch it, but you're probably less comfortable in that deciding game because of it. So, they just crushed a game where they were first pick. Now they're switching and accepting second. I just don't know.
The key difference is simply on first pick, it is harder to draft for because you need to have the strategy laid out from the start to the end. You need to understand what you're opening with and how you're going to kind of survive the draft because it feels so much harder. So second pick is very much more comfort. And like you just mentioned, because OG wants second pick, it's even more comfortable to actually take it for the third game. Because if they were taking first pick, that's where they need to make sure they have the strategies in place to be able to deal with it. So it's a little bit easier because you react so much more when you're second pick. And of course, so far in terms of reactions, they've taken away the Earth Spirit from OG because of course Kotal Earth Spirit would be a very strong opening.
Yep.
And then you mentioned like the flexibility of Grim Spirit.
It's interesting though, they banned Puck over Coddle. I hope that doesn't come back to bite Liquid because while I do think Puck is still like really strong, Coddle, I'm always afraid of giving OG and Nigma specifically heroes that allow them to abuse the map with these irreplaceable mechanics, and Coddle spooks me.
Yeah, but I think Earth Spirit also kind of mirrors that in the idea of he can equally be as present if he's in the correct position at the right time. You know, he can roll into a fight, TP, suddenly one stone roll, he's in another fight as well. So they kind of are awkwardly mirroring it in the fact that they can take a strong fight wherever they want to go.
Not much time left.
Go Alk again, or am I missing something on the side of OG? Coddle Alk's a pretty nice combo. And they banned out the Timber Saw.
No way.
Void Spirit with a fast axe, is that as potent?
You just have to remember the fact that OG...
I guess Monkey King's still in the pool.
Oh my god, if they go Alchemist, there's no way they go Alchemist.
Well, they have the final pick in the second phase, and that pick there, when your first pick, is like kind of the gotcha pick. So if it suddenly presents itself to be an out game, then for sure OG will go for it. But I think it's too early to really kind of corner them into these type of heroes. For Liquid, they need to open up their draft a little bit. Of course, they've shown most likely they're 5 and 4.